You've probably had that moment. Maybe it was in a meeting after years in the same role. Maybe at a family gathering where old patterns run deep. Maybe during a conversation with someone you once considered an equal, when everything changed in seconds. One careless sentence, one visible flinch, one emotional reaction too raw, one apology too quick, and suddenly the air felt different. The way they looked at you shifted. The tone softened into something patronizing. The deference vanished, and you walked away knowing, deep in your gut, that respect, something you'd spent decades quietly earning, had just slipped away in an instant. If you've lived long enough to feel that silent drop, that quiet demotion from peer to someone who can be managed, this is for you. Losing respect happens faster than gaining it. One moment can undo years. Today we're going to look at why it collapses so quickly, what really causes the fall, why most recovery attempts only make it worse, and how, after all these years of observing human nature, you can reposition yourself with calm, deliberate strength instead of desperate explanation. Respect collapses in moments, not years, because it is fragile by design. It is built slowly through consistent behavior, but the human brain is wired to update social rank instantly when new evidence appears. One visible weakness, one breach of composure, one signal of lower leverage, and the mind reclassifies you. It doesn't need time. It needs only a single, credible data point. You can spend 20 years proving your worth, but one poorly handled confrontation, one over-eager apology, one emotional outburst can overwrite it. The speed is brutal because the brain prioritizes survival information. Who is strong? Who is safe to challenge? Who can be moved? Once it detects a crack, it assumes the entire structure may be hollow. Years of respect become a memory. The new reality is the moment. The real reason you were disrespected isn't usually what you think. It's rarely about the content of what was said or done. It's about the behavioral triggers that signaled low leverage. Hesitation before responding, over-explaining when challenged, visible emotional reaction, anger, hurt, defensiveness, quick apology without pause, chasing approval after a slight. Each of these is a neon sign to others. This person can be moved. This person needs validation. This person fears conflict more than they value their own position. The disrespect that follows isn't punishment for what you did. It's the natural consequence of what you revealed about your internal state. People don't decide to disrespect you. They simply adjust to the new information you gave them. Apologies rarely restore respect once status is dropped because words are cheap after the frame is shifted. When you apologize too quickly or too emotionally, you confirm the very perception you're trying to erase, that you are lower, that you are reactive, that you need their forgiveness to feel whole. The brain has already updated your rank. An apology at that point is not heard as accountability. It is heard as submission. It reinforces the demotion. The only apologies that ever work come from a position of restored strength, delivered calmly, briefly, and without chasing absolution. Anything else just digs the hole deeper. The psychology of lost position is brutally efficient. The human mind maintains a constant, subconscious ranking system. When new behavior contradicts the old rank, it updates immediately and permanently until contradicted again. Once you drop, others treat you as lower because their nervous system now files you under safe to test. They speak over you. They dismiss your input. They push boundaries they once respected. The shift feels personal, but it is mechanical. The brain doesn't hold grudges, it recalibrates for efficiency. The biggest mistake people make after disrespect is trying to fix it immediately with words, over-explaining why you're right, chasing approval with extra niceness, reacting emotionally to prove you're not weak. Each of these responses doubles down on the original signal. I am rattled. I need you to see me as valuable again. I am still moved by your opinion. The harder you try to climb back, the deeper you sink. Recovery begins not with explanation, but with withdrawal of reaction. Respect can be earned back, but only once, and only through sustained behavioral change. The brain allows one credible course correction per relationship. After that, skepticism sets in. People become unwilling to re-elevate someone who has already shown they can fall. The second chance is real, but it is fragile and finite. It requires months, sometimes years, of consistent evidence that the old weakness is gone. One slip during recovery resets the clock, or worse, cements the new lower rank. Emotional control is the cornerstone of recovery. Calm signals strength after a fall. When you refuse to react, refuse to defend, refuse to chase, You begin to overwrite the old data. Your composure says, the previous moment was an anomaly. This is who I really am. Calm doesn't argue, it simply exists. And existence, when steady, is louder than any protest. The shift from reaction to action is everything. Confrontation rarely restores respect. It usually escalates the frame that you're defensive. Action does. Change your behavior without announcing it. Stop responding to every slight. Stop volunteering explanations. Stop being the first to reach out after tension. Stop absorbing disrespect with understanding. Each non-reaction is a vote for the new rank. Action is quiet. It is consistent. It is undeniable. Reposition yourself without confrontation through three things: consistency, boundaries, and presence. Show up the same way every time. Calm, measured, unhurried. Enforce boundaries without drama. A simple no, a polite withdrawal, a change of subject. Hold present, steady gaze, relaxed posture, deliberate silence. These are not flashy moves. They are boringly reliable. And boring reliability is what rebuilds perception faster than any speech ever could. The power of forward motion cannot be overstated. When you continue to move ahead, taking new responsibilities, making decisions, creating value, without pausing to explain the past, you reframe the entire narrative. Weakness becomes a footnote. Momentum becomes the story. People don't respect explanations, they respect trajectory. Keep moving, let the motion speak. After disrespect, people will test you again. They do this to verify whether your position has truly changed. They poke, they wait for the old reaction. They create small provocations to see if the weakness is still there. Each time you respond with calm non-engagement, the tests weaken. Each time you pass, the perception shifts. The tests are not punishment, they are information gathering. Pass them consistently and they stop. The moment respect starts returning is subtle. They begin pausing before speaking over you. They ask your opinion without sarcasm. They hesitate before pushing. They start treating your time as valuable again. These are not loud declarations, they are quiet recalibrations. When you notice them, you know the tide is turning. Respect is hardest to recover in environments with deep history or high stakes. Workplaces where hierarchies are formal and memory is long. Family dynamics where patterns are decades old. Social groups where status is performative. These arenas resist change because the old rank is deeply embedded. Recovery here requires near-perfect consistency and often strategic distance. Sometimes walking away is the strongest move. When the environment refuses to reset, when the disrespect is baked into the culture, when the people involved are invested in keeping you lower, leaving is not defeat, it is sovereignty. You take your value to a new space where it can be seen fresh. Some rooms will never re-elevate you. Choose the ones that will. Here is the final principle worth carrying forward. Respect follows strength, not explanations. Words can never rebuild what behavior broke. No amount of talking, justifying, or proving can replace the quiet power of consistent, calm, unapologetic presence. After all these years of watching respect rise and fall, of seeing people lose it in seconds and struggle to regain it for years, you know this truth in your bones. Stop explaining the past. Start demonstrating the present. Be the person who no longer needs to be understood, only respected. The difference isn't in what you say, it's in what you refuse to let shake you. Choose that strength now. You've earned every bit of it.